Morning, everyone. It's the 20th of April. We are Signal Centre Talking Ball. I'm Joe Neighbour, joined by Steve O'Hare. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning, mate. You all right?
Yeah, not bad. You?
Yes, very nice. Nice weather again this morning, so
Yeah,
puts a
looking
smile on my
good.
face. Yeah.
Indeed. You watched football yesterday? No one gives
I
a shit anymore, do they?
No, no, they don't. I think Neville had a great rant, didn't he?
Yeah, I watched that.
Yesterday.
I tuned in from 7 o'clock just to see
I
what they
quite
all
like
had to
that.
say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that was the
I'm,
best bit.
I'm
I
glad.
didn't even want to watch the game.
I don't think anyone else did either.
No.
Especially the fans, sort of like, well, the first half, Leeds were probably just had their hands over their head or their eyes, and then second half Liverpool did. So, yeah, pretty fair score, fair result, but disappointing for both clubs, I think.
Yeah, I mean, for anyone that's been under a rock over the last 48 hours, you would have missed the news about this breakaway league. And I think, yesterday kind of just sort of summed it up. What's the point of, will the Premier League lose its competitive edge if, teams don't care, if they don't have to try and qualify for anything or bust a gut to get somewhere? It's, what's the point?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It'll be, yeah, it's a change in the game as we know it forever.
Yeah.
And they're trying to do that anyway with VAR and stuff like that and crap like that.
So share prices of Juve and Juventus and Manchester United both went shooting high yesterday
Well, I
on
think
the
this
back
time
of
we
the
made a
news.
stand. I might sell my shares in them.
Yeah.
You think
Manchester
I'll have
United
shares in Man U?
is up 7%. Yeah, I was going to say that wouldn't happen. Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, obviously conversations will be ongoing there. There's talks as to whether or not it's a bluff to try and get more money out of UEFA and FIFA, or there is some that say that it's full steam ahead. And given that a lot of the clubs have left the European Association, that kind of suggests that it probably is underway, and fans' views will not matter because they'll be targeting these new fans, and we've been banded or categorized as legacy fans. Did you see that?
No, I didn't. That's
So
nice.
having got to 36 years of age and paid fortunes to Arsenal Football Club in season tickets and replica kits over the years, I've been categorised as a legacy fan. They're chasing new fans, which doesn't leave a very nice feeling.
No, definitely not.
Anyway, enough of that. So on to what's going on in the wider market. We've had US drug maker Emergent Biosolutions was told by regulators to stop producing Johnson & Johnson's vaccine at a plant where there's 15 million doses worth of the key ingredient had to be discarded, which is adding more roadblocks to preventing getting the vaccine rolled out. Obviously, that will impact US, but also Europe as well. In Europe, they've exercised their option for a further 100 million doses of the Pfizer and BioNTech COVID vaccine. So they're trying to get that rolled out and underway. In terms of the numbers, they're not looking very good across the globe. It's getting out of control again, it seems, and it looks like the numbers are increasing again in the UK. We've only just, lifted the restrictions, and already we've got numbers on the rise, which isn't a good sign.
Well, I mean, it's bound to happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
It just makes sort of like, put it in the mix, and that's what happens. It's just you just got to make sure it's maintained, controllable, and just work with it. You're going to get these spikes all the time. There's nothing's going to stop them. So just learn to live with it and learn to deal with it, and in the right way, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe. On the political front, we've got the successor to Angela Merkel, the campaign still going there. It looked like it was a tap in for Marcus Soda, but the other guy, Armin Laschet, has come fighting back. So still no clear winner with that. Did you see the news about Tesla? The share price had a bit of a dip yesterday because there's a deadly Texas car crash where
I saw
they're
that,
saying it was the autopilot, but Elon Musk has said that the autopilot was not enabled. So they are, we're going to get legal authorities hunting down the data for that to find out exactly what happened. And I guess that's one of the things about automated driving is that there'll be logs for everything, and everything will be documented, won't it? So we'll soon find out.
If you delete that file, maybe no one sees it.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's not good. It sounded like a pretty horrific one because they didn't think that anyone was sitting in the driver's seat. There was someone in the back and someone in the passenger seat, but no one in the driver's seat, but then was that because of they hit the tree with such force? So it's yeah, wouldn't like to be anyone sort of getting involved with that sort of thing. Not
No,
a
I
very
mean, we're
nice
going to
thing
get
to
lots
do.
of these things with, the search for automated driving. Ultimately, it will be much safer, I think, if we can get it sorted out. But, the bat phone going, is it, Steve?
The bat phone's going.
Give me a signal.
Yeah, left to wait.
Okay,
Right,
so
shall I
let's get
go through
cracking on with the
crypto?
charts. Yeah, if you want,
Cryptos.
yeah.
I don't normally want to talk about cryptos, but I do today because I think it runs from like Monday to Sunday on the weekly chart. So it formed quite a decent candle yesterday. We spoke about this last week, this potential end of the fifth wave, and this was coming in here. And then we had this sort of ABC correction. And then when we saw this week sort of like finished quite healthily, and then the follow through this week, it's sort of like we did say the fifth wave should be extended higher. I think we've done it now. I think this potential for me is a much bearish candle than what we saw here. This is a bearish outside candle. As you can see, it started the week, the Monday the 12th, and finished on the 19th. It's engulfed the previous almost previous 2 positive weeks, so very negative indeed, and we've got off to a negative start this week. So 65,000 is the current high. I think that could be in place for maybe a couple of weeks while we go through on this just an AB equals CD correction, potentially
You're going to
down
get
to
hounded by the hodlers now of Bitcoin because they don't like it when people talk about selling.
No, but I mean, listen.
See your inbox filling up already.
Yeah,
You
I
said
know.
fucking what? Bitcoin's
Shit,
definitely not
really?
going down.
Listen, all 6 of you, listen to me. This is just a normal correction in the market. The markets have to have corrections. You're not going to just get a straight line moving up, and Bitcoin going to go to $1 million. It could do one day. I'm not saying it's not going to. I don't really know what's going to happen in that term. But you've got to have these corrections where the overbought status sort of unfolds, and it's just a normal correction. The trend is still higher. It's only it's a buyer's market still at the moment. There's no sort of reason for anyone to sell Bitcoin to hedge against anything at the moment because it doesn't act like that. So, but let me just, so having said that little disclaiming note, let me go down to this sort of ending wedge type formation that we're seeing. Let's get it up there properly. And we've talked about the bearish divergence where the momentum is stalling, and this has been going on since sort of like, well, since early February. Well, since late February, started early February, late February. This bearish divergence has been occurring. So, and we've had a break below the supportive trend line, and it's taken out this previous swing low, which was acting as support, 55,700. Took it out really nicely, but then recovered very quickly into the close of when was that? That was Sunday's price action. Monday we saw negative follow through, and we've broken below, and hopefully we'll see a close below this 55,400 level. The next level to watch is 50,300, just in front of the psychological 50,000 level. So I don't see any reason why we don't get down to there. Potentially a break of there, and I would expect to see a deeper correction, maybe down to 43,000. Looking at maybe a long-term perspective, for me, the real value would be around about the 28,300 to around about 30,000. The 20,000 level for me is always going to be where I see the stop level. We take it right back here. I think below 20,000, there's something seriously wrong. So until that time, I'd be a dip buyer in Bitcoin. And yeah, so this morning off to a sort of soggy start. We can see on the 4-hour chart a little bit of a bearish flag forming. That has a measured move target down at around about 48,300 or something. I think I measured it here. Yeah, on the hourly chart, around about that level, taking out the 50,000 level, a little bit of follow through, a little few stops. So yeah, selling Bitcoin, I think, on my gun to head challenge. Don't care what anyone says. No hair, don't care. Anyway, I was getting carried away then. Just that's my sort of like. That's my finisher.
That wasn't it?
Finishing. Yeah, it was. It was. I've still got to do commodities. Let me come back. So looking at commodities, I saw that the Saudi crude exports dropped to an 8th-month low in February. Saudi Arabia's crude oil exports fell to their lowest in 8 months in February. The Joint Organizations Data Initiative, JODI, said on Monday, as the world's biggest oil exporter voluntarily capped output to support oil prices. Crude exports fell to 5.625 million barrels per day, their lowest since June 2020. China boosts crude oil storage, but a higher price may deter future bills. China boosted the flow of crude oil into storage tanks in March as strong imports and domestic output exceeded an increase in the volume of fuel being processed by refiners. All this news has had a positive impact, and we're still looking to move higher. The weekly chart on crude oil, we saw a very, very healthy positive candle last week, closed nicely higher, and we're looking to challenge again this resistance band up here. How much follow through we get, I'm not 100% sure, but we talked about this flag formation. There's plenty of room to the upside. $68 target seems a little bit of a way off at the moment. We're only trading at 64.15 on the WTI crude, Brent crude trading at 67.34. But yeah, don't see any reason or anything to really slow this down. And we can see on the daily chart how positive the last couple of days has been. That potential reversal shooting star on Friday was gobbled up, and we're pushing aggressively higher this morning. Levels above, about 100 points above, we've got 65.20. Above that, we got 66.53 before the swing high, which we saw 8th of March, coming in at 67.80. Now going across to gold, we've talked about the double bottom formation that we see in gold, and this is playing out really nicely. We had a bit of a shooting star candle, so a reversal yesterday, very disappointing on my gun to head trade idea, where I said we'd get some there's potential for more upside. However, I did, as a caveat, I did say I'd rather be buying it down at 1770. So that would have been a better entry, but I couldn't do it because I had a gun to my head. Now looking at this in the clear light of day to day, we haven't really had anything going on overnight. Little bit of indecision, trading where we opened at midnight, and really potential for me for maybe a retest of this 1755 level. Now a retest doesn't, obviously that's talking about a $15 drop, but for me that'll be the opportunity to provide some positivity to the market, because I expect that level to hold, and for the prices to then have this platform to springboard off up towards the $1,800 level and beyond. So yeah, little bit of a setback in timing, but I would be looking to buy gold on a dip. Indices, a little bit of a reversal yesterday, bearish outside candle, not looking good. Indices feel a little bit sort of teetering on the edge at the moment. Normally when we do get this little bit of an indecision and stalling, all of a sudden we sort of get, buyers come in and it's sort of like new highs again. But we've seen a couple of candles. On the Dow, we've got a hanging man candle, that's negative, and then sort of like negative start. We've almost got an evening star formation on the Nasdaq, again negative. S&P had a sort of like great finish on Friday, but Monday price action isn't looking very good at all. On the DAX, similar sort of thing, bearish inside day yesterday and a negative start this morning. I don't know what you think, Joe, but I just think that indices may feel like they need to have a bit of a sell-off before they
They
continue the
do,
move
but they're
higher.
so pumped full of money that I just don't know what's going to be the catalyst. It's just going to continue grinding higher, I think.
I think, yeah, there's no real massive sign of a reversal, but just maybe just a short-term correction and then there's sort of like the programs come in and start buying again, and like you say, there's a lot of money sloshing around, and
I have seen a few
indices.
banks and market commentators start saying that they think you need to start taking profits now. Whether they will, or whether they are right, you don't know. I mean, you often find with these commentators that they'll sort of hammer the same view again and again and again. At some point, they will be right, and then they're lauded as this. Oh, he called the top back in
Yeah,
whenever, but he also called the top 15 times before that when we was at all-time highs in the market. So
yeah.
you know, markets always fall from all-time highs, don't they?
Yeah, is that a question of like two phone calls? Like, hello, Mr. Retail Trader. I think you should start taking profit now.
It's like the
Johnny,
horse
put that
racing thing,
buying
isn't it?
program on.
Yeah,
Put that
exactly,
buying program. Lovely. Cheers.
exactly that. I
Who
don't
knows?
know. I mean, it's all very much bullish, and I think coming back to the FX side of things, you'll see that also with the likes of the dollar index that's been absolutely slammed in the last few days. And when the dollar index is getting killed, that often is a sign that people are looking for riskier assets, to get involved with the market, and that's what we're seeing. This is the move down. This is a daily chart in dollar index. It's been very sharp, as you can see. And we're now approaching this 61.8% level of this move higher. So maybe that's just a nice sort of correction, and we will actually see buyers return on the dollar index. I don't actually know, but we are in the process of making higher lows. We could get down to this kind of level down here at sort of 90.13, 90.11. And arguably you could still make a case that potentially dollar index is bottoming out. I don't really know. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm sort of still think there could be something to say from the dollar index at some point, but it's been moving quite sharply lower. And on the flip side of that, we're seeing all these riskier assets start to make some sharp moves higher. This is Aussie yen, which is breaking out of this wedge, which I sort of thought for a long time was potentially a head and shoulders top forming. If you look at something like that, hasn't played out yet. That's not to say it won't. As long as it doesn't break above that previous high, then there could be an argument for that. If it closes above these levels here at 84.48, then maybe that is the right shoulder taking shape. I don't know. One thing that I keep seeing across the board, regardless of any market you look at, is the volumes are declining. So the participation potentially is dropping, and maybe that's not a good sign either. If we look at Aussie dollar, you can quite clearly see the volumes dropping off there, breaking out this wedge and moving higher. You wouldn't back against that at the moment, but maybe it'll run into some resistance around these kind of levels here, 78.50. Euro dollar. Again, flip side of the dollar index, you've got this really sharp channel moving higher. It's approaching this 61.8%. Arguably we've got a bit of a confluence of levels here. We've got this downtrend channel. Apologies for the mess on the chart. There's quite a lot going on here. We've got a 78.6 and a 61.8% fib level in and around this sort of zone here. So maybe that will cap the upside in the euro dollar in the short term. We'll have to wait and see. And then maybe we are forming a top here. It's just not very straightforward and quite difficult and choppy to trade at the moment. So
Yeah, fair enough.
we'll have to wait and see. Sorry for the silly drawings, but
No,
that's just kind
I
of
like them.
what I'm seeing. What else was I going to point out? Cable, quite interesting today because that is rallying to the underside of this channel, which we broke back in March. We had a retest here, which failed, and we've seen another retest here today, in line with these sort of highs here.
Yeah, I like
Is
that
that
one.
another failure, maybe? Again, look at the volumes; they're not particularly great. If you look at where the look to the left. So let's just say this is the up move. That's been the average around here. Look at all this over here. How many bars are above that average? It's not much going on participation wise there. So
No.
That's a nice round level as well, actually, 1.4000. So maybe an interesting level for cable to have a look at today. New Zealand US dollar, from the break of wedge, I was kind of bearish of that, but it's come roaring back today. I guess this will be the key test here, 72.69. If you can break above that, then that could arguably invalidate any sort of theory of a top pattern, or maybe it won't. I don't know. I think we're going to see some, a real volatility event at some point, but I don't know when that'll be. It may just continue grinding for now. So that pretty much wraps up anything I wanted to say on the currency front. And yesterday our gun to the head trades weren't particularly great either. Got sort of chopped about on those. As Steve mentioned, he was trading gold. Sorry, this is the wrong sheet. Where is it?
Was that the sheet for prospective customers to sort of
yeah,
the dodgy sheet.
I really never took any screenshots. Yeah, so yesterday we had a short trading sterling Swiss, which was stopped out, and a long trading gold, which was stopped out. So undone a little bit of Steve's good work from the previous session with his 3R win on gold. Hopefully we can get back on the horse today, Steve. You got anything you fancy? You mentioned Bitcoin. Are you going to go with that?
No, absolutely not. You're joking, aren't you? Wouldn't believe what I said.
You've had a threatening message, haven't you, while we were off?
I was told, don't even think about it.
Don't even think about shorting Bitcoin.
Yeah, should we do it? Should we just do it? CC,
no,
listen, if I don't turn up for the next 3 days, something's happened to me. Yeah, I'm going to do it. You've sort of talked me into it. I was actually going to sell cable. So if cable comes off, I'm going to sell that now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So looking at that, the high today is 55,843. So the stop at 55,900, and let's target a move to 50,300. 50,000. Let's do 50,900. So that gives us a 3.2 to 1. No, what's it? It's 50,900. That's better. No, it's all going wrong, Joe. Oh my God, what's happening?
Don't know, but you're ruining my trade because it's going down.
Yeah. Okay, you can take it from wherever you want. 50,300. Right, 3.75 to 1, selling Bitcoin, stopping at 55,900, targeting 50,300. You go quick.
Bitcoin buyers, it's only a game. Don't send us any messages.
Yeah.
We like Bitcoin. Okay.
Bitcoin is lit.
Yeah. I'm going to look at cable. We touched upon it a minute ago. We both said we quite like the fact that it's retesting the underside of this broken channel. And we've got a bit of a doji. I mean, it's very early, but we're into some resistance here as well at 1.4000. Volumes declining. Zooming into the hourly charts, we can again see this resistance level here that I've drawn on. We can also see some bearish divergence on the RSI. So we were making new highs up here, but the the RSI was making lower highs. And also, if we look at the 10-period exponential moving average, which I often like to use as a bit of a trigger, we can see that we've seen a close below that and an engulfing pattern or engulfing candle form. So I'm going to set it now at 139.85, stop loss at 140.16, targeting a move down to here. I've got some support at 138.42, looking for 4.6R on that trade today. Okay. Let's see how it goes.
Brilliant.
Not much on the calendar that's going to impact from a macroeconomic perspective. We have had some UK data out this morning. There's been a sharp decline in the UK claimants and unemployment, which highlights improvement in March. There was a drop in the February average earnings, but that did little to dampen the sentiment. Looking ahead, earnings season now in full swing. So we've got Netflix, Lockheed Martin, and Johnson & Johnson all releasing earnings today. So some big hitters will be reporting, and that will continue to happen throughout the week in the US. So keeping an eye on that. And unless you've got anything else, Steve, we can wrap it up.
Okay, that's fine, mate.
So you're not here for the next 3 days. Jokes aside,
I'm not.
have taken a break. So it'll just be me running through the charts tomorrow. It will be obviously a bit briefer, but Steve will be back next Monday. And we'll see you all tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers then. Bye bye.